In this lesson, we will learn how to add, subtract, multiply and divide fractions. Let's begin with adding and subtracting. The steps here are as follows. First, create equivalent fractions with the same denominator. Then add or subtract the numerators and keep the denominator the same. So, for example, to add 1/3 and 1/6, we need to first rewrite the fractions so that they have a common denominator. To do this, we should determine the smallest number that 3 and 6 will divide into. In this case, the smallest number is 6. So, we will rewrite the fractions so that they both have a denominator of 6. So, let's take 1/3 here and multiply the top and bottom by 2 to get the equivalent fraction 2/6. The other fraction 1/6 already have the denominator 6. So it can be left as it and wrote down here. Now that the both fractions have the same denominator, we can have the numerator to get 3 and we will keep the denominator 6. At this point, we can simplify the fraction 3/6 by dividing top and bottom by 3 to get 1/2. So 1/3 plus 1/6 is equal to 1/2. Okay. Let's try another one. To subtract these two fractions, we must first rewrite them so that they have a common denominator. So, what is the smallest number that 4 and 10 will both divide into? In this case, the smallest number is 20. So, we will rewrite the fractions so that they both have a denominator of 20. To do this, we will take 3/4 and multiply top and bottom by 5 to get the equivalent fraction 15/20. When we take 7/10 and multiply top and bottom by 2 to get its equivalent fraction 14/20, now that both fractions have the same denominator, we can subtract the numerators. So 15 minus 14 equals 1. So this is the numerator and we will keep the denominator of 20 the same. So 3/4 minus 7/10 is equal to 1/20. Okay, now look at multiplying fractions. The rule here is very straightforward. Multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator. So find the product here. We multiplied numerator 2 and 5 to get 10 and we multiplied the denominator 3 and 7 to get 21. What about this example? How do we handle mixed numbers? Well, the rule here is to first convert any mixed number to entire fraction before multiplying. So first we will rewrite 3 and 1/2 as 7/2 and then we will rewrite 1 and 3/4 as 7/4. At this point, we can multiply the numerator 7 to get 49 and we can multiply the denominator 2 and 4 to get 8. So 3 and 1/2 times 1 and 3/4 is equal to 49/8. If we wish, we can convert 49/8 into mixed number 6 and 1/8. Alright, now consider another product. If we multiply the numerator here and denominator, we end up with some very large number. However, before we perform any multiplication, we should first see if we can simplify the fractions. For example, we can simplify 23/46 by dividing top and bottom by 23 to get the equivalent fraction 1/2. We can also simplify 33/44 by dividing top and bottom by 11 to get 3/4. Now that we have simplified both fractions, it's much easier to find the product. First we multiply the numerators 1 and 3 to get 3 and then we multiply the denominator 2 and 4 to get 8. So our product is 3, 8. Okay, what about this one? Here, both of our fractions are already written in lowest term, so we cannot simplify them any further. However, we multiply their two fractions. We can make our work a lot easier if we cross simplify the fraction first. Here's how cross simplify works. First examine the numerator of one fraction and the denominator of the other fraction and determine whether we can divide both values by some number. In this case, we can divide both numbers by 5. When we do this, the original 10 and 25 simplify to be 2 and 5. At this point, we examine the other numerator and denominator and determine whether we can divide both of this value by some number. In this case, we can divide 9 and 27 by 9. When we do this, 9 and 27 simplify to be 1 and 3. Now that we have completed our cross simplification, we can multiply the numerator to get 2 and we can multiply the denominator to get 15. Alright, now let's move to dividing fractions. Here, the rule for dividing fraction is to multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. Now, don't forget the reciprocal of the fraction is the flipped over version of that fraction. So, if we want to divide 1/4 by 2/3, we must first recognize that 2/3 is the divisor. It is the number we are dividing into 1/4. At this point, we can apply our rule to see that 1/4 divided by 2/3 is equal to 1/4, the reciprocal 3/2. At this point, we can apply our rule to see that 1/4 divided by 2/3 is equal to 1/4 times the reciprocal 3/2. From here, we simply multiply. When we multiply the numerator, we get 3 and we multiply the denominator, we get 8. So 1/4 divided by 2/3 is equal to 3/8. Okay, let's try another one. Here the divisor is 1 and 5/6. To find the reciprocal of this, we must first rewrite it as the entire fraction, 11/6. At this point, we will take our divisor and find the reciprocal of it and multiply by 7/12. Now before we multiply, we should first cross simplify. So we can take 12 and 6 here and divide them both by 6 to get 2 and 1. Now since we can't simplify 7 and 11, we'll leave them as they are. Now that we have finished cross simplifying, we can multiply the numerator to get 7 and we can multiply the denominator to get 22. Alright, let's summarize. In this lesson, we learned how to add, subtract, multiply and divide fractions.